Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown.
Perhaps they die of high blood pressure in their very jail cell because none of y'all shut up and stop stressing this man out.
Or hear me out. What if he disappears by going back home?
That is a disappearance.
Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little.
You were the accused.
He kept putting the shackles back on you.
He put you in shackles. I'm pretty sure he was way past a little.
In my defense, if I didn't keep those on him, he would have been thrown overboard.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, actually.
Time that I learned to believe in myself.
Believe it.
Tatemayo, baby! Hey everybody, welcome back to Case 4 of the Great Ace Attorney. We're here, finally, in the trial. I feel like we've been investigating for quite a bit of time.
It's been 84 years.
We were going to talk about Locum before we continue.
Oh, right. I forgot about that already.
Well, he literally just finished recording the other one.
I know, but it is a weird word. And also, my allergies trying to kill me. Anywho's, it is a 17th century English word. It originally is like you're holding a place. So if you're a locum.
Oh wait, locum means substitute, right?
Something like it. It's kind of like that.
Yes. Okay, I remember this. Okay.
But it's actually a shortened version of the actual word that's supposed to be used, which is locum tenens, and it's usually used for doctors and clergymen. But I guess in this case, Natsume just wanted to feel really special about addressing. Because it makes sense when you consider, yes, Naruhodo is the replacement, but for me, I'm just kind of like, wait, did Natsume know that Naruhodo's the replacement?
Yes.
He said it.
He said it.
Oh, okay.
He did say it I know it's a while, but yeah, he did say it. But that makes perfect sense because even in the Japanese version, he also says substitute student Naruhodo Ryanosuke.
Okay.
So I was like, I remember looking up locum and I just couldn't remember what it meant anymore because, that was a while ago I was looking into it. But now that you were talking about replacement, I was like, oh right, locum is supposed to be substitute. Okay. All right, we got that out of the way. We got that worked out. So, the judge may now go ahead and proceed with the court, finally.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
He sounds very Irish or Scottish today. Very good.
He sounds like he's about to tell me that if you look at a pound of feathers and a pound of steel, which is heavier, that's right.
Oh my God.
Of feathers.
Prosecution is fully prepared, my lord.
The defense is ready, my lord. Hey! He finally said something instead of just looking around aimlessly.
The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed.
Sorry, what?
I was being racist, boy. Get your ears cleaned. Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. Mere amateur.
Do you have a point?
This is a racism, boy. Was I not clear? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try and help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Sir, wouldn't you do the same for your own?
No, you be quiet, you.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susato-san.
You're right, ignorance probably fits better.
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Well, you're drinking early this early, huh?
Because the show's about to start. Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end.
Judge, could we, talk about the fact that he brought this up? It seems like that might be...
Rubble.
Oh
We're
my
ignoring
god. I just saw who juror number 1 is, and I am about to throw a gasket.
What?
You'll find out. You'll find out.
I'm concerned now.
Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
Impartial.
What?
Impartial. Yeah, sure, impartial.
Wow. Amazing. Wow.
You know, the only I guess the only meta reasoning for this is just space.
Yeah.
They can't they can't make so many jurors, I guess. At some point there's just not enough space, I guess, I'm assuming.
But they use it in the next case right after he was a witness.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still the same model. They're just recycling it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Anyways,
This was on a 3DS, so.
I know, but I'm not juror number 1, so that's why I'm not saying anything.
I'm so thankful you didn't spoil it in the Discord now, because Lewis's reaction was priceless.
Yep. Anyway.
You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
Even play, it's the same guy.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a piece of it, fella.
Juror 4.
Wait a minute. I'm out.
No, impartial my ass. Impartial my ass.
Safe to say, I think it's quite possible that the mustache fauna did the deed.
Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway.
Wait a second!
Yeah, you remember him?
Didn't I voice him in your 3DS Let's Play?
Yep.
I remember Santa Juror.
Yep. I gave it back to you.
Sorry! I didn't quite catch that!
Well, it's not Santa this time.
Well, he looks like Santa, but I wasn't gonna make him sound like Santa.
Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zeeks.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. My pronunciation is flawless. And while our country has extended this foreign student to the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
A knife crime. I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath
It's
they
the
are.
same guy.
Impartial.
Come on.
He's very impartial. Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
You know what? I find she's more racist than Baroque, but you know.
Yeah,
Come on.
she's more overt about it.
Yeah, come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. What? We haven't started, sir.
Eh? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Speak into the hearing aid. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber.
Wait, what? Oh,
Again.
right. He did. I didn't. I missed the part where he threw it.
Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Gregson, can I have your fish and chips, sir?
Your name and
No, that's for
occupation,
me.
please. Enough about the food. Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector?
You can lead a country in that, boy. Anywho, sir, the victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be.
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by an attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Why are we having this court proceeding before she comes back? We don't have her testimony. Is this allowed?
Yes, because it is ancient Britain. Ancient with a bunch of quotation marks.
Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger?
Fortunately for the Eastern students, the charge will not be murder. Pray elaborate on the details, Inspector.
Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at the street map.
Did you bring a chart? Like,
I did, right here.
oh.
As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon, which is close to evening for those of you who prefer to be on the evening schedule. It happened on the pavement that alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Son of Blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file of everything we know about the victim so far.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. Hey, everybody. Juror number 3 is back.
Oh,
but you
boy.
can just call me Matthew Majima. I gotta do this on account of some, incidents around this, country that I can't speak about legally. So,
Community service. He's doing it for community service.
pretty much, yeah. Anyway, case file. A file containing an overview of the case and details about the victim. She was found with a knife in her back and is currently in a hospital, yet to regain consciousness. Not my knife, by the way. Just want to clear that up.
What of the weapon that was used?
I have it here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared of walking down the street now.
It's a pocket knife!
Say,
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman.
even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Jackknife. A large but commonplace folding knife. It was found lodged in the victim's back.
Not your
Again, not
knife,
his
of course. Yeah.
It's a 7 out of 10. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
We can tell by looking at the woman's positions. It seems she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she was having anything much worth pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
Afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
Wait, you
That
have?
actually
Wait.
works.
If theft and grievous has been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Oh, okay, the bottle's gone immediately.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. I shall be fine.
That might probably hit someone, but then that
No,
someone
they're
was
fine,
there
they're
because
fine.
they want. No, hear me out. They hit someone, but that someone was there because they wanted to see Von Zeke, so they're going, his bottle hit my face.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the splash zone. there's fan art of this somewhere.
I actually hate that you're right.
Yep.
But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter, sir? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Just put us all out of our damn misery.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Natsume's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else around but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those the enamored old books he just bought. He was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found them no to arrest him.
Gonna gloss over the fact that Herlock helped you out with that part.
Yep.
Yes, he will.
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord, I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
Ah, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring to.
Somehow they already had color photos. Good job. Good job.
I will take the photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector. Crime scene photograph. A photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident occurred. A large knife can be seen thrust into the victim's back.
But not yours, right?
Definitely not mine.
Alright, just gotta make sure.
Gotta make sure.
I don't like using switchblades. I like using regular good old fashioned knives. And besides, I
No.
like stabbing rich people.
No, see, I understand, I believe you. We just gotta make sure, as a matter of record, You get it. This isn't your first time here, you get it.
Exactly. Besides, I've already been cleared of charges.
You had charges on you?
Anyway. You Nipponese are a spineless breed. Too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it.
What are you doing, Mrs. Sato?
Shaving your ass?
Do go on.
Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now you mention it. When we visited
Now you
him,
mention it, wait.
When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened.
Did that sentence forget a word? Like, it just said now... Now you mention it.
Well, it
No,
makes
that sounds
sense.
foul. No, that's
Yeah.
that's fine. Well, now you mention
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's fine.
Shouldn't it be now that you mention it?
No, you can also just say now you
can
mention
just say
it.
that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
You don't need the that for that one. Yeah. We're
That's
learning
fair.
more English languages as we go.
The now that you mention it is the colloquialism and the usual expression we think of, the cliche. But you don't really need that extra that, because that is pointless when the subject is already implied.
Yeah. There you go.
That's fair.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat, she was. And just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat.
Yeah, that's exactly the woman that the prince is wearing. My, a photograph of Prince in full color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident.
Juror number 4 does not care about the actual case. Juror number 4, oh wow, it's in color.
I mean, yeah. It is in color.
That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time. Just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could have possibly stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Soseki, I guess.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance.
No, we can also use it to turn tables, though. Like, we could physically turn the table. Just grab the table and turn it.
We.
I'm just
We-
here to fish and chips.
Hold on, actually, before we do that, I don't want to present. I just want to look at the thing. Let's open
I
this
thought
thing.
for a second you pulled up his fish and chips.
No, declare this man innocent!
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Mr. Sato.
Wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes, you don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Ooh.
Dear, I do hope not. That's
Wait a
just
second.
terribly painful.
Haven't we been here before?
Have we?
Not in this
What?
game, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Alright. It's like, wait a second, this feels very familiar.
Your books.
Gotta love it.
I'm books?
Your books.
I'm Okay, sorry. I wanted to just look at that again.
Are you sure?
The heck was the press button? I was like, what is the press button again?
Uh,
How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend. Because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us.
but he was
Okay, so
asking-
that means there were witnesses, meaning he wasn't the only one. Hello? Yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
Right. One of them is policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand. Should it be necessary.
Sir, it's going to be. It's Ace
I
Attorney.
think it's necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen...
I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny little island in the east.
Your island was not much bigger.
I was gonna say...
But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas street lamps. Prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Right, here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness, besides the fact that Dracula rules us.
Which means we really need to hear those witness test statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we would be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Just bring out the freaking witnesses.
No.
Oh.
I just don't know what to press, to be honest.
I'm just happy to be here.
I mean, like, all this makes sense. I don't really, like...
Then press everything.
You know, I guess this. Press this, because we know technically Shums helps find the guy.
Oh, whoops. Oh, okay, fine. I wouldn't the arrow back, but it wouldn't let me.
What do you think, Miss Naruto? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid...
That Mr. Natsumi's fate will be sealed. Yes, they're sure to find him guilty. So, one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. Well, we all know 5 o'clock, that's when it happens, so I don't think there's really anything we can press about that. Because, yes,
No,
that's confirmed.
Let's press the last one. I really just want him to blow his gasket about Sholmes.
And then they'll be talking about something else entirely.
Please, I beg you. Please bring up Sholmes.
Hold it! You asked for the help of the famous detective Herlock Sholmes to locate the defendant, I believe.
Stuff of nonsense.
Sorry?
Bless you.
Stuff of nonsense. That Jack in office, that busybody, just comes and sticks his arm in whether he would ask him to or not.
But according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard's detectives.
Well, that has nothing to do with me. The lads at the scene must have done it without my permission. I tell him time and again, whenever something happens, send word to headquarters. Then follow your blooming instructions.
I see.
If that Medina gets his hand on the details, we'll all be reading in Rats magazine next month. And you can bet your last father that I'll be in there too, stripped of all my hard work on the case. Yes, Mr. Shums. No, Mr. Shums. Aren't you clever, Mr. Shums? That's all the thanks I've been getting.
Well, you are getting paid.
That's to say.
Inspector, if the man is proving detrimental to the yard's activities, perhaps I should step in and deal with him?
Ah!
Is that a yes? No?
You made me spill my fish and chips.
It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words.
Yes, the Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
No,
What was the point of doing that pan? It went from Susato, immediately, here's your Inosuke. Oh, never mind, back over to the Van Zeeks. Like, why did it do... It was a really weird camera angle.
Anyway, the point is this. That little Japanese bloke's already admitted it. He's admitted that those books are all over the pavements at the scene where they... I'm very flustered about the Sholmes business. He's
Yeah, I
admitted
see that.
those books all over the pavements at the scene were the ones he bought that day.
Alright, we're skipping this. Meh.
I thought that was
Alright,
dialogue.
actually, how about we look at the books? So I think that was the fifth statement.
Hold it!
The defendant apparently visits a secondhand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question? Please, Inspector.
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. It's a place in the corner of Briar Road and Musham Streets. As it happened, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end.
But he didn't go to Bourbon Street, sir. Or Books.
Which means it doesn't take a genius to walk up the route he would have taken home. Something like this.
Okay, but he didn't go to that bookstore.
Local map. A street map of the local area showing locations that are relevant to the case. I know
What
if you could
bookstore
pause
did he go
there.
to?
Your books.
All right, my books.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the bookshop stock. The name!
What's the stock price on that bookshop? Come on, let's get in. Let's get in while it's hot. Let's get in while it's hot.
Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe.
Oh, I
Wait.
mean, yes, it could be a very important clue.
I think that's the first time I've seen that animation in this game.
Of him doing the Phoenix usual.
Yes, of him
backhand.
doing the Phoenix back scratch.
I don't.
The head scratch early.
I feel like he's done it before. We're on the fourth case, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that's the first time I've seen it.
He hasn't been comfortable most of the game, so it makes sense that he's been more comfortable. He finally does that.
I can't remember if it is the first or if it happened before. Man, okay, anyway.
Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance. These eyes don't work too well. Please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say.
Could the man be any more sardonic?
I don't know what that word means.
Deadpanning?
I used to know. You know what? I'll be right back because I don't remember.
Taisa just said what it was.
I don't know if
Oh,
I'm
man.
right, though. Like deadpanning?
Grimly mocking or cynical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So deadpan. Yeah, okay, that checks out.
Alright, well, it's not Bourbon
Shouldn't
Books,
say-
so...
He was on his way home from Bourbon Books, a second-hand bookshops he apparently patronizes.
No, sir, actually. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found an accused's room, did you?
Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
My books.
Your books? Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Oh, that makes way more sense. All right.
Yes.
Oh, thank God we weren't going to go into that.
Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsumi did indeed purchase a number of books at a secondhand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What?
Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop?
Yes, sir. Yola Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... Well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection.
That's an oversight. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
Objection.
Yes, for what difference it makes. But if the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no... Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Objection.
I disagree. I mean, after all,
You almost had it. You almost had that confidence, man. Like, keep
so
trying.
close.
Have confidence. No confidence. That's you, Miss Naruto. I have the street map here, if that may be of help.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Did you grab it from Gregson?
Have a
he
look at
tossed
this.
it to me. He made it into a paper plane and gave it to me. It was very nice of him.
Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, your books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Would that be true?
I might. It rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
That doesn't line up with... Okay, whatever.
Is that right, Mr. Taisa? What you just said?
Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Rubble, 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 rubble?
Big up!
Didn't Gregson literally say that...
Speak up!
Natsume literally said that he did pass the lady? Like, what?
Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment?
I mean, yeah, I guess we can establish he went to a different book state, but he did state it. It's true.
Well, obviously, we looked into that. It turns out that your books is just on the next corner of Merchant Street going east. It also happens to be my books as well.
Now, don't worry about that. It's just the same thing. It's just updated. And there you have it. As you can clearly see now.
That doesn't change much,
Wait.
actually.
Oh. It's just like, I'm like, I got this. Wait. Shit.
Some good shit right here. My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus, my good boy.
I was waiting for that line.
You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you.
Oh my god,
I will
Susato.
not know.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go.
I can't believe I'm having dinner and a show. This is great.
May I have some of your wine, prosecutor?
You know what? Yes, you may.
Oh, thank
Can I have some of those fish and chips,
And now Gregson
actually?
has to educate the child.
These are mine. These are mine for only me. The special fish and chips you see.
Okay, well then you can't have this wine. It's very easy, as simple as that.
Okay, you know what? Since you guys are having too much fun fighting over food and drinks, we're gonna stop here so these two can work out what they want to share, and we'll continue this in the next video.
No,
Then
that's
was
fine.
it
I need-
your books or my books? I don't quite know.
It's their books, my good sir. Their
I
books.
see.